Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night wherever you are in the world. My name is Hatman, and today we are going to talk about some shit that just went down over at DePaul University on Milo Yiannopoulos' Dangerous Faggot Tour. Now, he's no stranger, Milo, to protests. Of course, we've seen some crazy shit at his events in the past, most notably Trigglypuff, but this is where shit seriously hit the fan. Now, it began with just, a lone protester, an act of defiance. A girl who's purported to be with Black Lives Matter sat in Milo's chair that he was supposed to be, seated in during the event. She did that prior. And finally, when the event started, she got up, left kind of awkwardly. I guess, the act of defiance didn't really do much of anything. But she would resurface later, once Milo was actually on stage and cracking some jokes, to scream and yell at him and actually threaten to beat him after making contact with his face, no less. He was actually struck by this girl. And meanwhile, she has a cohort who took a microphone and is also berating Milo on stage as an act of defiance or civil disobedience, whatever the hell you want to call it. And take a look at this clip and judge things for yourself. So, I bet you're wondering, where the hell was security during all this? Well, they were at the back of the room. Yeah. Just sort of standing around, doing nothing. I mean, Milo's supporters who were chanting at them, do your job, do your job. Girl just threatened to hit him. I mean, for God's sake, you'd think that would warrant an intervention, but nope. They did absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. The worst part of it, Milo paid for those guys. Yeah. Milo paid for the DePaul University security staff, and they refused to remove a man from stage who threatened to hit him. By the way, that's a threat of violence, isn't it? That's a threat of violence if Milo does not, if he does not act according to what those protesters want. If he does not succumb to their will, they will be violent. That sounds like a textbook threat of terrorism, doesn't it? Absolutely wonderful. The protesters are resorting to goddamn terrorism to enforce their fucking views, to shut down this event because they fucking hate public discourse that much. Well done. Well fucking done. Holy shit. It is a wonder why none of them have been arrested yet. It is an absolute miracle. So, Milo, realizing that the event is basically fucked at this point, decides, you know what, let's go lodge a complaint to the college president. Let's do it. So, he marches out of there and brings 500 of his supporters with him, who are all subjected to chanting and screaming from all the other protesters outside, and they're chanting back the usual let's just be loud with each other sort of thing, fight words with words. It's effective, it does things. And they march down there, and nothing happens. Nothing gets done. Well, that kind of sucks. But, Milo decided, hey, I'll just go back in there and I'll try to finish the event. And what happens? He gets stopped. Yeah, he gets stopped by the Associate Vice President of Diversity, Empowerment, and Inclusion, Rico Tyler. Yeah. A member of the Vice President's cabinet, no less. the overseer of the Center for Intercultural Programs and the Office of Multicultural Student Success. You can probably tell that this guy might have an agenda in not wanting Milo to even be there. Needless to say, he was just as fucking helpful as the security staff was. This is absolutely fucking bananas. So, meanwhile, the college Republicans issued a statement. And the college Republicans were the ones that hosted Milo. This is what they had to say. I'll read it verbatim. What happened tonight at our Milo Yiannopoulos event is a sad verdict on the American campus today. We wanted to put on a good event, bring some new perspectives to the modern issues of our day, and have some fun. Regrettably, militant protesters decided to hijack the event. Loud whistles, threats of violence, and straight-up suppression of speech. There was no discourse, no Q&A, just fascism. Additionally, DePaul Security's response to the thuggery was utterly shameful. We spent thousands of dollars and countless hours to get the proper security and put this event on, but when security was actually needed, they did nothing. What is the point of having security if they won't do anything when they are clearly needed? DePaul administration and security's response just shows the liberal bias that so obviously pervades universities all around the country. Conservatives can't host speakers, can't put on events, because as soon as we get started, vile leftists will shut down our events as soon as they get started, while administration cooperates with their oppressive, disgusting actions. We want to thank Milo Yiannopoulos for putting up with this garbage, and we hope, in some way, DePaul administration will actually do something to address this abomination and hold those responsible for what this event became accountable. Well fucking said, college Republicans. And they're absolutely fucking right. This is indicative of what college campuses are today. They are not marketplaces of ideas as, they're popularly believed to be. They are not diverse as they like to market themselves as. They are places where people get indoctrinated and safe spaces for any sort of idea anywhere near the right of the political spectrum to be suppressed. And outright hated in some cases. I recommend that you go watch the documentary Indoctrinate You. It basically explains that this shit has been around for a long ass time, and we're only now seeing the effects of what a rampant liberal bias on campus looks like. Now, I don't really identify as a conservative or a liberal. I identify as more of a centrist. So, this sort of thing, of course, shocks and appalls and disgusts me. But, holy fuck, what in the hell are you accomplishing by not letting someone speak because of their political affiliation? What in the fuck? I mean, I would be upset if there was an absolute conservative bias on campus, just like I'm upset with this liberal bias. There should not be a bias one way or another. Colleges should reflect the marketplace of ideas. That is, all ideas are given equal weight from the get-go, and through public discourse, they are either made into good ideas, or made bad into terrible ideas, and of course, thrown out of the market. It's sort of like capitalism, The things that are good, profit. The things that are bad, go under. But, if these college kids don't like capitalism, then of course they wouldn't like the concept of a marketplace of ideas. But even then, they don't understand what the hell discourse means. Discourse means you are willing to confront ideas that you are offended by, that you disagree with, for the sake of finding some semblance of truth, for the sake of being able to figure out what you believe based on what everyone else believes. I mean, that's it. Anything beyond that, not allowing a whole host of ideas to be communicated based on where they stand on a political spectrum is not discourse. That is absolutely not. It is creating a fucking echo chamber. It is creating an ideology where the bad is not allowed to be spoken. It is not allowed to exist. You are not meant to be disagreed with at all. And that is where you get fucking totalitarianism. If you disagree, you are executed. And this sort of shit here, the threats of violence against somebody, come the fuck on. That is absolutely fucking unacceptable. I mean, you jump all over the fucking Trump supporters for acting violent, rightfully so, because nobody needs to fucking resort to violence, and yet you go and do it yourselves? That's ridiculous. Look at this clip right here. Look at this clip.
Let's keep moving, please. Thank you.
Is it okay if we continue recording? We're peaceful.
Not helping the solution. Let me ask you, are you not helping the solution? You not helping the solution. You are temporarily taking rhetoric, not helping the solution.
I love censorship. It's so fun.
Keep going.
Come on, we can go.
Wait, we're not for censorship? Oh, this is the wrong part. So if you don't like what they say, just censor it.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay. Thanks, though.
I appreciate it. There's something called the freedom of the press. We can kind of do this.
And the thing that we pay for. And the thing that we pay tuition. Are you a student here? Are you a student here? Yeah. We're students here too. Cool. That's fine.
Steven, how is this going to work for you?
We'll worry about that in a sec.
I'm sweating balls.
We need to get this.
I gotta say battery goes out.
How much time do you left?
Like halfway.
Well, I'm taking it
And
back.
that's going to be for the hour.
Who's going to expel me?
I bet you guys are.
I know. You can leave now. You're my face. You can leave now.
You're a fucking fascist.
Check your phone. I'm fuck out of here. Do that next time you're not protected. Do that next time you're not protected. Do that shit when you're not protected. Do that shit when you're not protected.
You too close. You too close. Back off the mic. You bitch. No, come on. Like I said, get on my face. 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 I'm trying to go out. No, not yet. Man, do bag up. You are why you embarrassing us? Stop, bro. I'm tired of that, bro. That's why we get killed right now. You think the worst aspects of our culture. Just go. Stop that, man.
Hey, I appreciate what you're saying.
You can't. You're just like talking to a wall, brother. You know what I mean? Like betting a three-legged horse. You ain't gonna win.
Thomas, you're a badass.
We're the ones being violent. Yeah. Based on what I just saw, yeah, we're the ones being violent.
I was sitting down watching. That man tried to put his hands on a girl. That's violent.
No, he doesn't like girls.
Go back to the do that.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Stay there.
Ferguson's calling. Thomas, you gotta go. You gotta go.
Oh, that was bad.
Thanks, folks. We need to exit the room now. But
All right.
I mean, look, just think about it for a minute. Look how condescending they are when they start. Just, hand waving and bye, and then afterwards, like, a couple of words will provoke them into charging somebody. I mean, yeah, I don't agree with trying to provoke people, but Jesus Christ, you're going to try and attack somebody because of that? Oh, that's absolutely wonderful. That is absolutely wonderful. Fists for censorship, everybody. Fight the power. Holy shit. I mean, what the fuck is compelling them to jump straight into violence? It's bullshit. It is total bullshit. But I guess it's perfectly fine if you're using it to fight oppression. And I'm sure ISIS believes that they're fighting oppression too. It's from a different point of view, as, Obi-Wan would say. But, Jesus Christ, this is getting absolutely fucking out of hand. I mean, if you don't like what someone stands for, you debate them. You reject their message. You set up some event to exercise your own freedom of speech. I mean, that could even be a protest. Absolutely. There is nothing wrong with protesting. That's utilizing freedom of speech. Absolutely, 100%. It's okay. But it crosses the fucking line when you use your speech to restrict someone else's. That is not okay. That is not what free speech means. Free speech means every idea gets to be heard. Everything. And it can be rejected by someone, or it can be accepted by someone. It can go under, or it can profit. Marketplace of ideas. But, this sort of thing, this is going to be a really widespread problem. If you kept up with the Mizzou protests at all, the concerned student in 1950, the list of demands that all these colleges were putting out, you'll notice that a lot of them had little bits in there about what they expect from speech. How they define hate speech as separate from free speech. How they define hate speech as speech that offends. Speech that offends, well, good fucking God. Now you're just trying to argue that you have the right to not be offended? I mean, clearly so. If people like Milo piss you off so much that you start attacking people who support him, attacking people who speak in ways that you dislike, while openly criticizing anyone who does the same thing on the other side of the political spectrum. Double standards, am I right? If it weren't for double standards, then they'd have no standards at all, I guess. But here's my point. This sort of thing is an absolute cancer on college campuses. And we're going to do a follow-up video where we investigate this sort of thing, how it relates to the protests that we saw last year and in late last year, I guess. These protests and all this shit that's been going on in universities for years, really. We're going to take a look at that, and we're going to blow it the fuck open. So I hope you'll join me next time. I've been the Hat Man. You've been pretty cool. Stay tuned, and don't explode.